Minister for Education Sean Edward has condemned the recent incidents of student indiscipline, especially the fights that have been taking place after school and the recording of these incidents to be posted on social media. The minister, speaking to the press Tuesday ahead of the last parliamentary sitting, says education officials are seriously concerned. The recent flare-ups came amid reforms in the education and school systems.
We continue to make school security a priority area of programming for us. As you quite rightly pointed out, we have had a few skirmishes in schools. That's inevitable. Students have been fighting from the day schools were established, but that does not mean any way whatsoever condoning fights and acts of indiscipline in school. I have sat with the Chief Education Officer and other senior personnel in the ministry, as well as other stakeholders in education, and we have adopted a zero-tolerance approach to acts of indiscipline. You know that we have incorporated technology in education in a very, very big way with the distribution of smart devices to every single child in the secondary school. We continue to rehabilitate primary and secondary schools, establishing smart classrooms to try and maximize whatever benefits we can derive from incorporating technology in education.
The minister has warned of punitive measures for not only the combatants, but students who escalate the violence for promotion on various social media platforms through the use of smartphones and other devices.
We are going to send a very, very strong message to the students who record the fights. Those who fight, they will be dealt with, of course, accordingly. And if they continue to violate school rules, then, as I said, they will be dealt with. But it is totally unacceptable that we are fast becoming a society where young people, instead of trying to diffuse situations that have the potential to escalate into fights, instead of taking that position, instead they pull out their smart devices and they record the fights, and then before you know it, we have a spectacle on social media for the consumption of the wider population. This will not be tolerated, and I personally will go into every secondary school to eyeball the students and to let them know that this will not be tolerated. And any child, once we have the evidence that you were a bystander recording a fight with the intention of circulating that on social media or amongst your friends, we will be extremely hard on those students.
The minister also urged parents to play a role in preventing student indiscipline.
I've made the point too that as a ministry on our own, we cannot be the only ones to admonish children when they do wrong. We want to encourage parents to play that role, that inescapable role that they have in the education and the upbringing of their children. There's only so much we can do as a ministry, but it calls for the collaboration and the working together of all stakeholders for us to get what we want out of the education system. And ultimately that is for us to produce citizens who will take their rightful places and to take this country in a direction where it can only thrive and the conditions of living can improve.
Education officials have been attempting to implement the recommendations of a school security consultant following a number of breaches on school compounds over the past few years. The Minister of Education said that he is committed to addressing this issue of student indiscipline. In the recent past, he has pledged to work with all stakeholders to create a safe and positive learning environment for all students. Joachim Du Plessis, HTS News Force.